Hello and welcome to the first of several video presentations about how to find and evaluate health information online. My name is Jamie Bloss and I'm a health sciences librarian at East Carolina University. In conjunction with a grant from the National Library of Medicine that is a partnership between ECU, NC State, and Student Action with Farm Workers, we wanted to bring these trainings to you to help reinforce and even expand your knowledge of how to find reliable health information online. We wanted to give a huge thank you to all the outreach workers who participated in focus groups with Catherine LaPrevot and her team at NC State. Without you, these trainings would not have been possible. A Spanish language version of each video is also available. We took the topics for this video series directly from information concerns and questions that folks had in the outreach worker focus groups. Here you can read how one outreach worker described the process of preparing for outreach and searching for information. Translated from the Spanish, they said, "In the office, as she said, we prepare and we bring ourselves up to date. I think what's important each year is how to bring ourselves up to date." A big thank you goes out to everyone who participated and gave us the ideas to film these training sessions. Our learning outcomes today are to be able to Google and research health education materials related to a specific health condition. We also will be able to apply the CRAP test to a web page to evaluate the information you've found. So you might be wondering, what is the CRAP test and what does it do? Simply put, it's a method to evaluate information you found from any source, but especially used to evaluate web pages. We take a look at the following: how current the website is, the relevance to you or a patient, the authority of the person who wrote the information, and the accuracy and the purpose of the information. This test can help you become more confident at evaluating anything you find on Google or other websites. So let's talk a little bit more about the concepts of currency and relevancy. For currency, we want to look at the date of the information and when it was posted. Sometimes people repost old news stories on social media outlets or on the internet, so it's important to look at when the information was posted. This is especially important when it comes to health information because we want to provide people with the most current, up-to-date information on a medical condition. Second, does the information actually relate to your topic or the question you have asked? And is the information relevant and suitable for your target audience? Sometimes information might be presented in a way that is hard to understand, which doesn't help anyone. Or it could be that the information doesn't match up with the issue or problem the person is experiencing and therefore cannot be applied to their situation. During focus groups, we heard from you that it's especially hard to find information online that's relevant to farm workers. When we're doing the CRAP test, we look at how current the information is that we've found and also if it's relevant to the person we're trying to help or the questions they may be asking. The next part of the CRAP test is to look at authority and accuracy. We want to check that the author or organization giving us information knows what they're talking about and has the authority to write on the medical topic we've researched. It's a good idea to look for the author's name and check their credentials. You can even verify they are who they say they are by Googling their name and their university to make sure they work there. For example, as a librarian, you could verify I work at ECU by checking the website and looking at my credentials, and you might know that as a librarian, I'm qualified to show you how to find and evaluate information, but I would not be qualified to give medical advice or write an article about a medical condition. So it's good to check someone's credentials and where they work. Then we want to do a check to see if the article or web page we found is supported by evidence. Has it been reviewed by anyone? If you can't find these things on a web page, it's hard to tell if the information is reliable. I usually like to be able to see the sources or the articles cited on the website, so I can tell the information is reliable and evidence-based. Often we talk about peer review as the highest standard. which means other experts in the field have reviewed the article before it is published. Most websites that you encounter will not be peer-reviewed, which is why evaluating the information is so important. The last part of the CRAP test is to look at the purpose of the information, and this may be the one of the most important but trickiest things to figure out. Sometimes it can be very hard to tell if a website has a hidden agenda or if they're trying to sell you something. Sometimes we want to look for an answer that can be too good to be true, so it's important to look out for websites that have excessive advertising on them. There are also some websites we want to typically avoid because of who sponsors them, which I'll mention on the next slide. So it is important to always use the CRAP test, but typically if a website is coming from a government site or an educational website, we don't have to worry as much. But commercially run sites or .com sites, we would need to take a look and be a little bit more critical. So now let's apply this test to a website. Suppose you had a patient with high blood pressure and they want to find out some ways to manage it. So I'm going to go to Google and search the terms high blood pressure treatment and see what comes up. So we get a few results that come up. The first article is from the Mayo Clinic, which is a reputable organization and also a .org website, so that looks promising. We also get hypertension, treatment and care from WebMD, and some articles from Healthline and Medical News Today. I'm going to click on the Healthline.com article, 17 Ways to Lower Your Blood Pressure first. So let's look at the date that it was written. It says it was last updated on January 31st, 2020, so that's pretty good. That's just about 6 months ago. Let's also look at the article. It says it was medically reviewed by an MD, so that would be a doctor, which is great. But can we see anything about the author who wrote it? And I'm not seeing much about the author. Also notice that we have these advertisements here on the right-hand side and also in the middle, and this is actually a drug that's being advertised to us as we look at this high blood pressure article. So we see all the tips, and then if we scroll down to the very bottom, are there any cited articles? And we do see that they've included some citations in the text, but I can't actually see that reference list at the bottom. Again, at the bottom here now we have another thing that says last medically reviewed in 2018, which is at least 2 years old. So they do include citations with links to NIH, which is a good reputable source, and some certain journal articles. So it appears that they have done some research. They've included some sources that they've gotten this article from. But overall, I would also want to know more about the author who originally wrote the article. And I'm a little bit concerned to the fact that there's so many advertisements, and I'm wondering a little bit about the website Healthline, as it's a .com website, and I'm wondering what is the purpose of their website. But overall, this isn't a bad article, but I have a few questions about the author's credentials and the purpose of the website. So to compare, let's go back to our Google search and let's look at the article on hypertension from the Mayo Clinic. So this article, it doesn't look like it lists a specific author that I can see. But typically these articles will just say that they're written by the Mayo Clinic staff, which is okay. And let's scroll down and see when this particular article was written. So this article is from May 12th, 2018. So it's a little bit older. It's about the same age as the Healthline article that we looked at, but probably the information hasn't changed much on blood pressure management. I know already, and if I didn't know, I could go click on this link and learn more about the Mayo Clinic, but I know that they're a nonprofit, so I'm a little bit more convinced that the articles that they post will pass the CRAP test. However, you would still want to do the CRAP test and be a little bit skeptical of any information you find online. The Mayo Clinic also lists lifestyle and home remedies, so it's more of a one-stop place to find out all the options for the condition. For any website, we can see pros and cons of using that information. Sometimes it makes it easier to go to a trusted website and look rather than search through all of Google. Whether you find information on a trusted website or through Google, you should go through all or most of the steps of the CRAP test to evaluate that information and see what kind of weight the website would carry in terms of trustworthiness. You can see from my Google search that some of the results are Medical News Today, WebMD, and Healthline. In general, you can avoid websites like these that are for-profit or receive funding from suspicious sources or drug companies. These websites are less likely to pass the CRAP test. In the next video of this short series, I will tell you about some great health information websites that are nonprofit or educational in nature that pass the CRAP test. Certain website URLs might signal that they are more trustworthy than others. Most of the websites I will show you in the next video are either .gov, .org, or .edu in the web address. These websites more often pass the CRAP test. .com websites can also provide reliable information, but you should evaluate these more carefully. To close, I want to give you my email and phone contact if you have further questions, or you can please reach out to your local library or librarians for assistance on evaluating information in the future and for advice on reliable sources of information. Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll continue to watch the other videos in this series.